Hi, Paul Ryan from Ryan Tunes. Last session, I spoke a bit about some of the traits or characteristics of songwriters. So are all songwriters just clones? They think and do things the same way exactly every time? No, I don't think so. To me, people that write great music fall into one of two classifications. The title today is Players and Poets. Poets, they would be songwriters that write lyrics first, that's where the spark is, and they write the music around that. Players hear the music in their heads maybe, and then write the lyrics around the music. So to me, there's two distinct types of people that are songwriters from a point of view of God-given talent or what's a natural skill set to them. Players, Neil Diamond, Freddie Mercury, McCartney, and poets would be Dylan, Gord Lightfoot, for example. Those would be poets. They would write the lyrics first in most cases. However, as time progresses, you obviously have to get, if you're good at one, you have to be equally good at the other one. And that's where these two totally different solitudes come into play. One is writing words, one is creating music. If you listen to Freddie Mercury, a musician first, as time went on, the lyrics got more and more sophisticated, more and more beautiful. One of the great songs for me ever written was Love of My Life. And Freddie wrote that after his career had begun. He was quite a ways into it. So he learned how to write beautiful lyrics to go along with his natural talent of music. And of course, sometimes the two never meet in terms of some lyric writers never want to write music and vice versa. Great collaborators, Taupin and Elton John, McCartney and Lennon. These were collaborators, each one specializing in one area. What I'd like to do now is turn to one of the great players, maybe the greatest player of all time, a fellow by the name of Ludwig van Beethoven, and just talk a little bit about him. And I know I do go on sometimes about the history of music, but I think there's nuggets to be found in some of these things that can help songwriting today. When Beethoven wrote the Choral Symphony, it was considered by many at the time to be one of the greatest works in Western music. And what made it so special was his use of the human voice. Very first major composer to include vocals within a symphony. That's why you see the Ninth Symphony referred to often as the Choral Symphony. Beethoven's Ninth, with an orchestra bigger than any other at the time, a playtime longer than any other up until that point, and with vocal accompaniment, which had never been done. So in wrapping up today, two takeaways. One, I do believe that people are inclined either to the music side or the words or lyrics side for their original spark, and then have to work on the other to make the song really great. And the second point, I think you have to say this Beethoven Choral Ninth was a major turning point in music. Although it's classical music, it's not folk music or acoustic country, which I do. It was the first time that choral voices were added to something that was considered basically just music before that. So last point, music's been around since when we did it in the other session, 1400 BC. Lyrics are a little bit more recent though. I think that's kind of a neat thing to know going forward. So thank you for watching. See you next time.